Hello bad publicity fans, this is Mark from My Size Hedge Fund. We're back with the Decklist of the week after a bit of an extended break, and I love Palana. It's been a while since I've gotten to play it. Rumour Mill has really put me off, and it is still a weakness of this deck, but the basic goal is to just go as fast as possible. If you're coming up against something who's playing Cipher, it's going to take them a while to be able to afford it. Same with like Nexus, their power tap combos, all that kind of stuff should give you the time to get a couple of Grail Ice down and then be able to score out behind that. You do have your defensive upgrades, as Jinteki does, both Caprice Nisei and Marcus Batty, and your usual agenda suite that you'd expect out of Palana as well. So 3 Nisei, 3 Corporate Sales, and 3 Future Perfect as well. Just the two Jackson, but the influence is instead being used on green level clearance and just good ice. Looking forward to playing this. It did very, very well at a tournament. First place, 6-0, you can't argue with that. So let's give it a whirl. So we're up against Andromeda. You would assume there's going to be power tap, supplier, that kind of thing at the moment, which might work to our advantage, but not with this hand, I don't think. 3 agendas is a bit too risky to keep, even though there is 1 ice and allows us to go fast, but no, whoops, almost misclicked. This is much, much better. Can punish early with either Cortex Lock or Galahad, and Hedge Fund as well, so what more could you ask for? Well, a better agenda, but that's just being greedy. So we are going to stick Galahad on HQ. It is the only piece that ends the run, so we want to keep that covered. Cortex Lock will eventually become less useful, but for the moment it's quite good. And we could commit a Merlin over to Archives as well to put them off getting too much money, especially with that down. So Cortex Lock could do the job. It is cheaper. We'll draw up just so... No, we'll hold on to Lancelot, but we will stick Cortex Lock on there. So now at least that turns off. Okay, apparently it doesn't turn off. But this will hurt. They can get all the money in the world, but Criminal can't really afford to take this much damage. As expected, they are playing Cipher. And we hit same old thing and account Siphon as well as a special order. So pretty happy with that. They do have a lot of money, but that puts us in a decent position. Now, if we Celebrity Glyphed, they will know we're playing Grail, which is unfortunate. But at least with all 3 pieces in hand, we can kind of keep them guessing as to which we actually install. Unfortunately, they didn't lose a breaker, so we could draw and commit a piece of ice over here. That mightn't be too bad, but then again, I'd prefer for them to actually install something. So we'll just credit up, make sure we can't get siphoned into the ground. And this might slow them down a little bit as well. So if we can put 2 pieces of ice over here, we might be in a pretty good spot. Career Fair, Daily Casts. Yep, seems good. So the money is not their issue anyway. There's a Nisei, which means it may be worth going for this very, very soon. And Caprice, we'd be foolish not to. So we will stick down 2 pieces of ice at least. Galahad ends the run, so good to have down. And Merlin might be okay. We can still afford to res everything, including it. No, let's put Lancelot. Even though Criminal is good for Sentry Breakers, Lancelot can still be a little annoying. And this does force them into, as you can see, power drawing, trying to go as fast as possible. Will it be fast enough? Earthrise will certainly accelerate the draw. But at least now they're trying to pay for things the hard way without access to security testing and Temujin. And legwork goes. I'm okay with that considering our current hand. So we can install events. And Hedge Fund gets us back soonish as well. Now, obviously, Rumour Mill... Whoops. Well, they knew that was coming. So misclick, cost us 2 credits. Hopefully that won't crush us. Political operative would really hurt us now. But on the plus side, they cannot drive by us. Inside job, we can still afford to fire both of these. Now, vamp is an issue when they get the right breaker down. But considering we've shown them Grail, they do have to kind of guess which this will be. Hostage Farron Marin, that seems good. And this is exactly why we have to rush, because if they can get this up and running, they can get a pretty good draw. They can get siphons off for essentially free. So we are trying to score as few agendas as possible. Early Nisa at the door can protect us from siphon at least. And they are power drawing, so Sucker makes Cortex Lock a little less useful. Mongoose coming down as well. So until they get a Sucker, it's going to cost them Paperclip. Okay, so now they're pretty much ready for everything, except for Merlin, of which we have 3. So we should fire one down at some point. Wraparound is now less useful. Draw, pop this down, and we can do double Lancelot on server 1. That does leave us exposed to Siphon, so maybe a Merlin on HQ instead. At least double Lancelot means that they've got to get a second Mongoose down. So as you can see, Criminal can really rush through their deck now between Aaron Marin and all the other resources that they got going on. Yogg. So that is with Cipher. And yeah, that is going to turn that on at least. So now Merlin is very, very sad. But at least we can go with double Lancelot for the moment. So if we can find ourselves another agenda, we can slam it in here pretty quick. That's fine. There's no real point in resing Merlin. We will, however, res this and reveal. Let's go with 2 Merlins. They might end up seeing the Lancelot, but not the end of the world. Around Merlin and Lancelot. So they do see it. We hold on to the Future Perfect, which is good. Maybe necessary to replace this. That's not ideal. But they missed last turn, so they may not go again. We do have to replace Cortex Lock though. Wraparound will only cost them 1. Merlin's now free. That'll only cost him a Sucker rather. I think we just take a credit again. We're not going to res Cortex Lock, obviously. But as things stand, we can try and rush for victory. So next turn, install Advanced Corporate Sales Team along with a Lancelot up here. Employee Strike, that's fine. So until they can find some way to multi-access on R&D, we're not actually that worried. So let's pop this into server 1. Let's advance it once, and let's install Lancelot up there as well. Now there's a good chance they try and siphon us into the ground. We can stop one of them. And we can afford all of this as well. And there is our siphon. So we kind of have to just stop this. There's Cipher. But that isn't actually bad for us, because it's Lancelot into Lancelot and then into Galahad. So they are more than welcome to go through Mongoose. And that will do that. So we get to trash program. I don't know if it's necessarily over. Let's trash, I suppose, a mongoose. Oh, it is over, because damage-wise. Whoops. And eventually we will actually get this, resolve a grail. And resolve a grail. And this is exactly why you play Grail Ice. So you can go pretty quick. That's what I really like about Palana. Aside from multi-access on R&D, we were looking pretty good. We did need to keep our money up, which was important in stopping that siphon. And criminals do rely on Mongoose quite a lot. So if you can start stacking sentries, puts you in a good spot. Lancelot isn't too expensive to res. And things like Grail as well don't fall over to Cipher too much. Merlin, obviously you don't want to rely on too much because Yogg takes it down so easily. But yeah, this is pretty good. So hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching. Come on over to Ice Hedge Fund if you want to see more from me.